Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 43 of Around the Kingdom, a Disney Magic Kingdoms podcast by a guy who has a lucky fin. Coming to you from the Australian Current, I am your host, Steve Squirrel, and joining us for the first time is longtime listener and creator of his own DMK Hangout group, Matt Dyer.
Hi, everyone.
Thanks so much for joining me, Matt. So happy to have you here.
Thank you for having me, Steve.
Of course. So, and thank you to each and every one of you for joining us this week as we explore the wonderful world of Disney Magic Kingdoms. Before we get started, I want to send a big thank you to all of our Patreons, Carrie Schumann, Kathy Clausen, Honeybee, Kira, Tom Higgins, Patricia Baisden, and Brianne Duke. If you don't know what Patreon is, it's a site where you can pledge a few bucks each month to help support the show. So if you're able to and want to help support the show, please check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/AroundTheKingdom. For August, we set a goal of 2 new Patreons, and if we reach that goal, we will produce a bonus show that includes all of the Patreons. We're halfway through the month, and we don't have any new Patreons, so please, if you can, join us on the Around the Kingdom Patreon team. There are other ways to be involved with the show. Also, you can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. We also have a very active Facebook group, and it's a great way to stay in touch with me and the community of the show. We also have a Discord channel where you can chat with me and other members of the community, so come and join us. The links to everything will be in the show notes, and can also be found on the show's main Facebook page. The kingdom is always changing, so for reference, this show is being recorded Wednesday, August 14th at around 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Whew! All right. The intro of the show is done. It's out of the way. Now, before we get started with the rest of the show, for my first-time guests, I always like to have them introduce themselves since they are new. So, Matt, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and then tell us a little bit about how long you've been playing, some of your favorite features and stuff about the game.
Okay. I live in Florida. I've been down here for almost 18 years. It'll be 18 years come September. I started playing Disney Magic Kingdoms right when it launched. I want to say I probably started in May of 2016, and it was actually long before they had some stories that were basically not even available yet. Jungle Book wasn't even available, and it took me probably about a good 2 years to finally make it up to Shere Khan. Pretty much, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Yep. And so far, I have been playing consecutive 568 and total 1182.
Wow. That is awesome. So you're definitely a long-time player.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm glad to have you here. And let's move on with the show. So now it's time to talk about our weeks in the kingdom. So Matt, why don't you tell us how your week in the kingdom was?
Well, I've been trying to, like everyone else, we're trying to actually increase our happiness level. But it just seems like since they've made all these gigantic improvements, it's harder to just try to get your happiness to like the highest level possible. So mine's been sitting at like, I need 40 something more to go to the highest level. I'm sitting at joyous, so it's like I'm constantly having to see it drop. It's like at 30 something, and then up to 40, and it just stays there the whole entire time. While we're having to level up people, I'm always at like some sort of a brain freeze when it comes to like who can you level up when it ends up being an event, because I'm always worried that if I level up someone, it's gonna take me a while to get to the next character. So since I found out who interferes, I figured, well, what the heck, I'll go ahead and level up some Winnie the Pooh characters. So this evening I leveled up Tigger. I had to welcome him back. He was sitting at 9. Most of my Winnie the Pooh characters are at 8. So I'm trying to get some of them up to 9 at least, and I just put up Rue for level 9, and maybe I'll work on Piglet, Rabbit, Eeyore. Pooh actually needs to be at 10, but I'm only going to do one more because obviously by Friday, Squirt has to be welcomed. So one more, and then maybe I'll work on either the Sultan or Raja, because by the time the event happens, it's only going to be them having to go up to 5. So I'll
Okay.
only have to wait for like an hour for them to be leveled up. So I'm
Awesome.
gonna try. I'm gonna try.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, cool. Well, it sounds
Yeah.
like you had a really good week in the kingdom. You've definitely been busy, that's for sure. And choosing Winnie the Pooh characters to level is a really, really smart idea because they are one of the sets that have not been balanced. So you want to make sure that them and Snow White are two definite high priority ones that I would say, you want to kind of keep focusing on.
Snow White, I have maxed out, and the funny thing is that you weren't around for Grumpy Gate. I was, so I unfortunately spent like a ton to try to get Grumpy, and he was like the first one out of the whole entire group that I had that was maxed out. But it's just because I didn't really understand the whole process of like building up magic. And so, like, right when they were starting to come out with like the 1 million plot of land, I'm saying to myself, okay, what do I end up doing? Do I run parades more, or do I go ahead and level up characters? And I think the way how I'm doing it works by just running parades more. Yeah, you do lose magic in between, but you can easily gain some of it back. You're not going to get everything, obviously, but the more you run parades, I think the chances are that you can go ahead and collect more. But I'll get more into that because that's more in the notes for afterwards.
Cool, cool, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so for me, I've had a good week. But it is what it is for my main storyline. I have not done anything with my main storyline at all. I am ready to welcome Louis, but I am holding off as I don't want any token conflicts heading, during the event. I'm just kind of putting my main storyline on pause. I really don't have much more main storyline left, so I'm kind of okay just letting it be for right now.
Well, I do. I actually still have Bunny, and I haven't welcomed him. The thing of it is, I'm at like 2 million magic, and I want to wait so that I can do other things, build it up more. So my thing is, I'd rather try to level up characters that need a smaller amount. Because
Okay.
if I'm gonna end up using Bunny, I'm like down to like 900 something, and it is hard to try to level up the higher magic characters.
Yeah.
The more that they need, the much harder it is for you to like level up another person. A lot of people have been saying they should go ahead and maybe make more than one slot to level up characters. I think they need to do something. I just don't think it's going to happen right away. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. All right, so what else have I been doing? So for building upgrades this week, I didn't plan on upgrading any buildings, but Minnie's house got enchanted to level 1. I did
Okay.
not have any intention of doing this. The enchantment ready icons over the buildings, they need to be addressed. They are not only an eyesore from just seeing them, hovering over the buildings, and there's so many of them. And they're annoying because you're consistently clicking on them. Um,
Yeah,
but
they are. They
but there's
really are
no
annoying.
there's no design. It's a big design flaw, I think, where I think that this should have been kind of tested a little bit more. And additionally, when you click to enchant something, like you're not getting it just happens very 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 quickly. And when the commodities for the blueprint tokens and the relics and everything that you're using are so valuable, it really stinks to accidentally upgrade something that you have no need. Like I have no need to get Minnie's house enchanted to any level. I mean, you could say, okay, well, at least it's counting towards like a thrill zone level, but I really wanted to save it for other things right now.
And you're at level 2 for the thrill zone, or level 3? What are
I
you
did
at
make
with
it.
that?
I did make it to level 2. I did not make it to 3.
Okay, I'm not at level 2. I just made it to level 1. So
Oh, okay, that's good.
yeah, it'll be a while though, I think, before I can get to level 2. I was kind of surprised that I had certain things that were already complete, and there was like maybe um, having to put more benches around the park or plants even that would make it kind of increase to go to level 1. I would have thought you need to have like some sort of an attraction that would make it, become more, because it would tell me, okay, you need 4 of 5, or you only have 3 or 5, whatever it is in a specific zone. I know that they haven't opened it, but I'm starting to like wonder what can I go ahead and put in next, because the more you're having to put away, um, I don't know. It's just my whole kingdom, like everyone else's, is just probably not as masterpieceful like Daniel's.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, that's for sure.
I don't,
Okay.
ha- I, don't- I don't have that time to try to rearrange all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, Daniel's the master of that, and Michael
Yeah,
as well.
yeah,
They
yeah.
definitely have mastered that. Also, speaking of which, another interesting thing that I was able to find on Reddit was one user was able to take all of the plots of land and basically grid them out, and then using the magic powers that he had, he was able to get just about every single attraction into the park.
Wow.
So I posted the blueprints to it in the in the Around the Kingdom Facebook group, and there was one person that went ahead and she did it, and it was cool. She posted a video. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting her name right now. It's late at night, but it was really cool. So check out the group. It's a very cool post. Now you'll have absolutely no decorations, no concessions, and no theme to anything in your group. It's a giant mishmash, but it's almost every attraction you can get out. I think
Oh,
that it was every.
I need to see that. I hadn't seen that yet. I
Yeah,
need to go
it's
on.
cool.
I'll look later.
Let's see for leveling. I was smart and I didn't mess up like the last time, and I made sure to leave my leveling slot open as the event began, and I was leveling Nemo, Bruce, and Crush. So I have Nemo and Crush both at 5, ready to go to 6, and Bruce is at 3. So yeah, I've been doing good leveling with them. In between, I've been leveling my new Toy Story characters, more specifically Bunny and Ducky, and then the hyenas also, because they were all low level, and they're all safe bets to level. So, like you were saying, Matt, like it's good to kind of churn out a couple of 1 hour, 2 hour ones, and just keep them going.
Yeah.
So as soon as the event began, the group, Allison did her thing, and she got all of the conflicts up very, very quickly. So we had at least, chapter 1 conflicts. And then thanks to the famous Chinese hackers, we were able to get a list of just about everyone that we're pretty positive is safe to level and not safe to level. So make sure if you don't know what this list is, make sure you check out our social media. It's on Twitter, it's on Facebook. So make sure you get there and check it out so that you can. One of the things people are always saying is, "Oh, I never have time to level. There's always an event. There's always something going on." Well, you can still level.
Yeah,
You can still level safely, safe leveling, and these lists that we provide will help you. So make sure you check them out, because then you're going to keep leveling, and that when you keep leveling, you're going to do better in tower challenges, and it's just a thing. But you should always keep leveling, always just making sure though that you're not going to cause conflicts with characters in the event. All right, and then finally, my lifetime visitors board. I am at 76,001. 76,001. So hopefully I'll break into the top 75,000 next week. Matt, do you know what your rank is on the lifetime visitors board?
Mine was at 67. I don't remember. Let me go on the game real quick. If you don't mind, I can go pull it.
6. So okay, yeah. Go ahead, take a look. Yeah, I like to break into the top 75. That is something that would be a good personal goal for me. So Alicia says, hooray for Allison. Yes, hooray for Allison. Allison's definitely kicking a lot of butt with getting Steve up quickly.
Okay.
Have you found it, Matt?
I'm waiting for it to load. Hold on a second.
Things are still loading. All right.
Yeah. It'll show up.
All right. So let's go on. I'm going to talk a little bit of show news until Matt pulls this up. So one more thing I want to point out about the show is that we did announce last week that a contest. We're having a contest in the group. The contest actually ends in about 35 minutes. So if you're watching this live, maybe you could get a last minute entry in. But we've had it up for close to a week now. And the contest was to design a stained glass background for your favorite movie that's not in the game yet. And it's really a big success. There's lots of entries. The voting begins shortly after the end of the deadline, which is in about 30 minutes. And it goes through Friday. So make sure you check out the thread and vote for your favorite. I think we're actually going to start a new voting thread. Okay. So make sure you check that out. The winner, the person who gets the most likes, will get a $10 gift card to the platform of your choosing. So it's just something that Around the Kingdom likes to do for our community. And thank you once again to all the Patreons for helping to make this happen. All right, Matt.
I have it up. So my rank is 14,088.
Wow.
My lifetime, yeah. I don't even rank up to that, like the top 5 or whatever it is, because basically everyone's at like 123 million, whatever. So I sit at
14,000. That's great.
14,088. My lifetime visitors board is 67,692,000. So I think it takes quite a while, but I don't know. Do you have the game open a lot? That might be why you're at like 76.
No, I mean I'm moving pretty good through there.
Okay.
I don't know if it matters. That's a good question to ask GameLoft. Does your lifetime visitors board, do more visitors come if the game is open?
Well, that's what I was thinking, because I don't know how everyone gets up to those higher levels and like ranks, So
that's a good question. I'm gonna have that as a follow-up to ask GameLoft. Visitors board. All right, got the note there. All right, cool. So now it's time for the newcomer tip of the week. Matt, what have you got for us?
All right, so I don't know if this has been addressed, but if it has, I'm sorry, I really couldn't think of it. But I'm probably one of those people that are still trying to collect magic to get to the 3 million plot of land. And my goal with trying to get the other 2 is at least collect an extra million, and I'm at 2 million something. And I'm going to make sure that if I want to unlock the 3 million plot of land, my goal is to get up to 4 million. So that if I want to level up more characters, I don't have to, like, let's say, start off from scratch and be at like 500,000. Because I remember how long it took me to just even get out of the 80 million magic. And now it just seems like the higher you increase, it's just easier. So my suggestion to the newcomers is build up your magic, and at least if you want to level up characters, you'd have more availability to do so once you get like another million. If you're already there and you don't want to kind of be like, oh, great, I'm out of magic. What can I do now? Just build it up until you want to open up a plot of land if you're already there. Even if it's just for the veterans, because I'm not at like the higher magic, like where everyone's played, and I play every day, but that doesn't mean that I'm gonna eventually be at like, I don't know, 30 million magic. It's just impossible.
Yeah. Well, another tip to piggyback on that is if you're trying to save up magic, don't welcome Shere Khan.
Oh yeah, no.
He is expensive.
I have him sitting at 9 for that specific reason. and it's gonna cost me like 325,000, I think, to level him up to 10.
I think from welcoming to get him to 10 is probably close to 3 million magic.
Yeah, about.
Probably close to 3 million magic. So,
About.
all right. Awesome. Well, that's a really good newcomer tip. Thank you, Matt. And I think
You're
this is not just valuable to newcomers, but everyone that plays. So thank you very much for
Exactly.
that.
You're
All right.
welcome.
Let's move on into game news. All right. So a hotfix came out. So you might have noticed that the game said, would you like to download the newest version? And wondering, hey, I have the newest version. Well, it's because a hotfix was released that addressed the issue with people not getting the special wishes. So as we talked about last week, the thrill zones. If you complete enough of the requirements in the thrill zone to get to at least level 2, then once every 24 hours you will earn what's called a special wish. And special wishes give you different rewards like blueprints, common, uncommon, rare blueprints. They're supposed to give you possibility of chests. So they're good to get. So they weren't coming. People, we talked actually on the last show. We're like, has anyone gotten one yet?
I haven't.
And no one got one. Well, you need to be level 2.
Okay, that's
in the thrill zone.
okay.
So no one had it, and Disney Magic Kingdom said we were aware of the issue. 2 days later, a hotfix came out, and so now they are granting the special wishes. I've gotten 2 so far. Everyone who I believe was in the level 2 thrill zone, they were given 5 gems and 1 concession stand as compensation for the issue.
And where do they go if they have these special wishes?
So you'll see someone that has a wish, and it's from what I've seen, it's always been a like a fast pass or a roller coaster ride, whatever you want to call it, wish, and it's in a big blue bubble.
That I saw. I just wasn't sure, like, where do they go?
Yeah, and so they go, and just like any other wish, they go to a ride, and then instead of a smiley face, it's like a blueprint token or whatever the reward is.
Okay.
So it's good.
Awesome.
I mean,
Yeah.
right now, in the game, especially for people. I mean, it's good for all people. But gathering resources in this game is what you do, and gathering these blueprints is hard to do. So if you
It
can
is.
every day get an extra blueprint, it's going to add up. So
And you were saying too, like, how it's hard to like know about the tokens because you see that icon always flash. My pet peeve is you can't even tell if the magic's been collected long before you already have the tokens to upgrade the building. So I wish that there would be some way to tell, hey, was your magic taken, rather than just clicking on it while you're having to find out that you can upgrade the building.
yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So that's what's going on with that. There was another issue that happened in the game, and so Disney Magic Kingdoms wrote, and this is what they wrote on their website. It said, "Hello, Kingdomers. Thanks for your feedback. We have removed a pop-up that indicated that Nemo relics were available in magical chests. While this is not the case, they will be available exclusively in Radiant chests starting Friday, August 16th, and then in Ruby chests Friday, August 23rd. Nemo relics will also be available in attraction enchantment chests after the Nemo event ends. Again, thanks for your keen eye. Surely you have what it takes to find Marlin. Anyone who built a Nemo attraction and spent gems on magical chests or enchantment chests should look for a gift surfacing in their games soon." So what happened is that we were able to, and we'll talk about building the attraction. We had mentioned that all of the Nemo attractions are enchantable from the beginning.
Yes.
So we got the first Nemo attraction, and people were looking to enchant it. And in order to enchant it, you need Finding Nemo relics. Just like, you would need Mickey and Friends relics and Toy Story relics, you need Finding Nemo ones specific to them. So the question was, where are these Finding Nemo relics? So people saw that they were available, or supposed to be available, in the magical chests, which are the chests that are available during Chapter 1, as well as the attraction enchantment chests. So
Yeah,
people
I
were,
know. I was one of them. I actually had to submit a ticket. I'm saying to them, "Is there a glitch?" Because it was saying, "Okay, it's blank," but then you don't know who's going to collect it.
right.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm glad you opened this. So you should be getting a gift. So I didn't buy any of those chests.
Oh, I didn't buy a chest either. I just kind of pointed it out to them by like saying,
Okay.
"Hey, wait, why can't we open it if it's saying it's blank?" Because it was like the parade slot too. Like the event started on Thursday. Everyone was saying, "Okay, how come we can't get the parade?" Because Bruce was available. If you remember correctly, when the event started, they also didn't have the parade float available. You had to wait until Friday for the parade. So
Yep.
that was also odd in my opinion. Because
Yeah.
usually when they have the events, they have the parade float too. So this is a whole different ball game. I will say though, I'm very happy that they're not having you collect a gem attraction. They're all going to be buildings that you're going to
They are.
get to over time. So that's
Yeah.
great.
Yep. Yeah. So anyway, this was the case. So people thought that they could get them. They might up not being able to get them. They're going to compensate people for whatever in some way, shape, or form. So if you get compensation for this, I'm curious what it is. So make sure send it into our social media at ATK Podcast on Twitter, Facebook.com/ATK Podcast. Would love to see what you get when you get it, because I won't get anything because I didn't buy any of this stuff. But I can't wait to get some Nemo relics, that's for sure. Okay, so that is it for the game news. Now let's get into the event. So the Finding Nemo update and event did begin. It started right after our last show. So lots of things to talk about. So right when the event began, there was a couple of things that were available. So some bundles became available. First one that was available was Bruce, the Bruce bundle. It was $3.99 US dollars, and it included Bruce and tokens to get him to level 2, which was 5 coral reef tokens, 2 ears, and 2 balloons. If you want to get Bruce separate, he was only 200 gems, which is really actually a really good price
Yeah,
for an event character. So, did you get Bruce? Did you use gems? Did you buy the bundle? Did you not get him?
I
What did you,
I
Matt?
I bought the bundle. I always try to buy the bundle if I don't have, like everyone else, if you don't want to use your own credit card or debit card to buy it, buy yourself Google Play or iTunes. But I was able to purchase it. I might have to get a gift card to get Hank, but I'll do whatever I can because like everyone else in life, I kind of think of this as like a good stress reliever. You need things to kind of play and just keep yourself occupied
Yeah,
occasionally. So,
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, I bought the Bruce bundle also. So my family decided that we were going to go to a theme park. There's a theme park out in Pennsylvania where I live, not too far away, called Dutch Wonderland, and it's basically like a Disneyland for kids. Well,
Okay.
Disneyland is for kids.
Yeah.
It's more like a very toned down theme park, I guess, with the kings and queens and stuff. It's a lot of fun. Anyway,
Okay.
Disneyland for kids. That's funny. Not like Disneyland isn't for kids. Man, it's late. Anyway, so I was in the theme park and I was trying to sneak doing stuff at 11 o'clock. I magically had to go to the bathroom. Let's just say. Yeah, so I bought the bundle real quick because I just wanted to kind of get through it. I didn't know what he was going to cost. I didn't have to think about it. But yeah, Bruce is fun to have. I'm glad I have him in my kingdom. And he was able to immediately collect for Nemo, which is why it's nice to have the tokens to get him to that level 2 right away.
Yeah, and Crush seemed to be pretty easy to get towards in terms of welcoming him, even though it takes like 60 minutes. I know, I'm always, I know you've seen this from my post, but it's just how I am. I tend to freak out because once they get close to getting other to other parts of the game, it's do you really think you're gonna be like under the gun? This time I didn't feel like I was gonna be under the gun. Yeah, I know we have up until Friday, but it's just like the excitement of like trying to know like how's the storyline gonna progress.
Sure.
I'm
Yeah,
already
we'll get to that in a few minutes. We're just
okay.
talking about the bundle for right now. So
Gotcha.
so the next thing was the Moana Legendary chest. This was the first time that Moana Legendary chests were available, and they were for the usual price of $9.99 for 6 chests, or you could buy them, of course, for gems. Did you buy any Moana Legendary chests, or did you already get everything from the last event? Or
I already have everything from every event. I've not had to like miss an event. I will say because I have been playing for um 3 years. There was a time when I thought I wasn't going to get everything. And I was actually happening to go on a Disney cruise for 4 days. I left out of Miami. It was just to go to the Bahamas for 4 days, and I left during the Beauty and the Beast event. And when I came back, I realized my phone started to crash, and I had to pretty much go from like I don't know, an old backup, and I was able to get everything back. So had I not gotten everything back, I don't think I would have been as far as like everyone else. And I don't know if I'd go spend money on every single legendary chest, but I'm glad I've made it. There have been some instances where I haven't made it far in many events. I was one of those people that was unfortunately not able to get the money bin. So I'm hoping when they come back with it, maybe they'd have another opportunity.
yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, so then the next thing that was available was the parade bundle. Now, like you said, the interesting thing about this is that the parade was not the bundle, the parade and the parade bundle, for example, were not available day one.
Yeah.
This is the first event that I've ever seen where the parade float was not available right away. You had to wait a day. But once the day was over and it was Friday, at Rope Drop, the parade bundle was available. It was $1.99 for US dollars. It includes 2 magical chests, 20 gems, and the parade float. If you wanted to get it separately, it was only 50 gems, which is the usual price for a float. So did you get the float, and how did you get it?
I got it by paying the $1.99 because I do use the gems. I'm not ashamed to say that I do. I build them up. I'm not gonna be like one of those people that kind of holds on to them because that's what they're used for. I wish sometimes I could have up to 50 gems, but if I don't, that's when I'm gonna go ahead and kind of do the $1.99. It's cheap enough to get it, so why not?
Sure. Yeah, I did the parade bundle also. Usually I just get the usually I just spend the 50 gems on this because it's not that bad.
Yeah.
But I really did want to get the magical chests. Actually, I was kind of hoping for Nemo relics, so maybe that does count. Maybe they'll compensate me for that. But and also I was like, you know what? I'll add 20 gems to my bundle because I was really low on gems. I'm finally starting to build up a decent collection. I actually want to spend the 50 gems to get the Bambi float, which has eluded me in the gold chest forever. Bambi float. So I'll probably pull the trigger right after the show and grab it because I'm afraid it's going to disappear out of the shop and I don't want to miss out on it.
And
But
that's the only float you're missing?
I believe so.
Okay.
I believe so. That's a good question. I might have to check that. So let's see. So that was it. So there you go. So what else was there? There is the event currency bundle. This is just the regular one. It's not the bigger than bigger or even bigger than event currency bundle. This is just the regular one. It's $3.99 US dollars. It includes 80 gems and 2,500 event currency. So did you get this, Matt?
No, I did not. I've decided now that, the events are starting, I'm trying to just hold on to the bigger picture because if I'm gonna get the currency, it's great. The gems I'm gonna waste for something else. So I'm pretty good. I'm standing at like 10,000 something event currency. I'm sending everyone else on tasks to collect EC because you're gonna need that over time. So I didn't buy the bundle. I don't think it's gonna be worth it. I'm gonna hold off and maybe get the bigger one. We'll see.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so I checked because I had to check because you asked me.
Yeah.
So I am missing the Alice in Wonderland and the Nightmare Before Christmas floats.
Oh, so
And
you're gonna
Bambi.
have to try. You're gonna have to try for
But
going
here we
through
go.
Alice in Wonderland and Nightmare Before Christmas.
Are you
Okay.
sure you want to spend 50 gems to buy the Bambi float? Yes. All right. It's mine. I have you now,
Yay.
Bambi float. All right. Yeah, it's good because I'm collecting for Bambi now. So
Okay.
good. Yes. Good stuff happens on this podcast. All right. So no, I didn't get the event currency bundle either. I usually don't. They're usually kind of last resort things for me, and I'm doing just fine with EC right now. So I'm not buying the bundle just yet. Okay, so let's move on. Let's move on into the main story. Let's just move on into the event itself. So the first thing that I noticed after the little welcome thing was that there's a common token, and what the common token throughout the events has been things that you tap on every 2 hours, and usually they're kind of boring things that walk around. Matt, why don't you tell us what the common token is for this and how do you get them?
The common token for who exactly?
For all the characters, what do you do every 2 hours? Who are you tapping?
I don't really. Well, I'm having. Well, now I don't have everyone going out for tasks, but for 2 hours.
Well, no, it's the seagulls.
Okay, yeah. I've been doing the seagulls. Yeah.
Yeah. So how awesome are these? I mean, Mark Andre hinted that there were going to be lots of seagulls. One of my favorite characters from the whole movie are the mine seagulls.
I was gonna say, because you've said like there's been multiple times when you've done this on other episodes of your show where you can't see them. This is great. You can actually see them say mine, and you can actually see them to click. So you must be like on cloud 9 on them.
This is definitely the best I've ever seen. It's funny, because who doesn't like going mine?
Yeah.
But you can see them, and you see them talking. I mean, this is by far the best way to get a common token, which are the coral reef tokens. But it's the best way to get a token I've ever had. It's the most fun. So kudos to the design team for that. Really enjoy that. All right, so we start out with needing to welcome Nemo. So I will say that we talked last week about Teal Avion's awesome guide to what you should get to have event currency and tokens, and she was spot on once again. I had about 400 EC to start and a few tokens. The Finding Nemo token or Nemo's tokens were all common. Or I think uncommon. His ears, I think, are common, and the other one is uncommon. Or either way, they're easy to get. Didn't take too long to welcome Nemo. So did you have a hard time welcoming Nemo? Pretty easy. What do you think?
No, I think it was pretty easy. It's just I think it was difficult to figure out, like, is it going to be more of a conflict? Like, who are you going to get more of, the submarine hats or Nemo's ears? And that's what I always think of, like, when they're having more people. I'm actually glad, though, because there have been in some cases, like, even when you get the parade float, they don't have, like, the second character's tokens for the float. It's usually for the first, and then they kind of skip. So in a way, it's random, obviously, but the parade, I think, helped me with getting Crush.
Absolutely. The parade is very valuable. So you welcome Nemo. Nemo went on a 2-hour quest. Then you had to get Nemo to level 2. Again, Bruce was a big help if you had him. He had his 2-hour quest or task to send out. Got you Nemo tokens, so it really sped things up. Once you got Nemo to level 2, You then sent him out for a 6 hour task, and then you got the quest to welcome Crush. So, how did you do with the welcoming of Crush? Did you find him hard to get? Do you think he was not that bad?
Usually when you get the second character, it takes you a lot longer than from like when it unlocks. So, it did take some time, but I was actually able to get him by Sunday, not exactly when I wanted, which was kind of a downer because I'm pretty good at like figuring out when I can go log on to the game without having to set an alarm. Because I know a lot of people set an alarm. I'll only set an alarm for certain things, but not uh, all the time. So uh, I was able to get up to the Welcome Crush screen by um, Monday, I believe. So it was pretty quick. It was pretty quick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I found him. He had a lot of tokens to collect for, but I didn't find it
Yeah.
hard to actually get the tokens. So
Yeah.
it was just time consuming, but I knew I had plenty of time. I knew that it wasn't going to be. I didn't feel rushed. I felt like the pacing was good. If you don't want to get a guy and welcome him in 2 minutes. You want to work towards it. So I thought it was pretty good. Um, so yeah, so you get
Squirt might be
Crush,
a little bit harder.
huh?
Squirt might be a little bit harder though.
Yes, we'll talk about that for sure. But let's keep going on with the storyline here. So you welcome Crush, you send him out for a 4 hour task, and then you need to build your first attraction. So the first thing that happens is you need to get Crush to level 2, and then once you have him at level 2, you can build the Sea with Nemo and Friends attraction, which is an 8 hour build time, and costs 3,000 event currency. So this is a really cute attraction. I really like it. What was your thoughts on the attraction, building it, the cost for it?
For 3,000, it wasn't actually that bad. Usually I'm
Yep.
having to build up event currency, a lot because I might not have a lot. And because it only costs like 3,000 EC, I think I only had to go up to like 1,000. So I was like, wow, okay, I have 4,000. I'm just gonna go down to 3. What the heck? I was like on the ball. I was
Yeah.
surprised. I'm usually not like that.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think the price was good. I felt it was easy to get. The size is good. It is. Um, it's an 11 by 10, which is not big, and it's not small, but it's definitely not big. It's a good size, easy to fit in places. So yeah, it's good. It's cute to have in the kingdom.
But the pictures on how they present themselves when you go into like the building section, they make it look like it's bigger than what it's actually going to look like when you place it in your park.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So then Nemo goes out for 4 hours. Then you got to get Crush to level 3. Then he goes out for 6 hours. Then Nemo and Crush go out together for another 8 hours. Then you got to get Crush to level 4, and then send him out for 12 hours. And once that gets done, you then get the quest to welcome Squirt. And Squirt will unlock at Rope Drop on Friday the 16th. So that's when he comes. Now, we talked about Nemo and Nemo having common tokens as what he had. Crush's stuff was uncommon. What do you think Squirt's rarity of his tokens is going to be?
It's gonna be rare, and I know that from having to get certain tokens. That's my guess. I don't really know in terms of like would we have any um, epic or legendary, but to me, I just think maybe we'd have uncommon and rare um, for him. I don't know. To me, I think when you get rare tokens, I could be wrong, but it's much harder to get the rare tokens. They don't drop as quick as it would be for the uncommon, and it's the same thing. No matter what you do, I think it was trying to get the tokens from the seagulls that were for Crush. I think that was the last token I needed to go ahead and try to welcome him. And when it came to 12 o'clock on Sunday, they just didn't drop. So I had to wait, I think, up until 2. So had I maybe done it by noon on Sunday, I would have, hypothetically, I would have probably finished it a lot sooner. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I definitely think Squirts is going to be rare. And yes, the common tokens are the easiest percentage to get. Uncommons are obviously a little bit harder to get. Rares increase in difficulty to get.
Yeah.
Epics are even harder, and obviously legendaries are harder than that. But to me, it feels like sometimes rares are harder to get than the epics, and I don't know why. But it's just kind of how it feels sometimes. But yes, Squirt will almost probably, my guess, be rare drops, and then probably Dory will be epics, and I don't know what Marlin is. I've been surprised the past few events because normally the last character was legendary drops, and the last couple of characters in the last few events there's been no legendaries, and I've been surprised that there was no legendary stuff needed. So I don't know.
And there's been more tower challenges this time rather than events, which is kind of giving it like a good pace. But I like having the events. I just feel like the 15 days is a little bit too stressful in my taste. I would rather have like a few more extra days. Maybe, like they pace it out for like 26 days for events. I think maybe we should have like an extra 5 days for tower challenges. It doesn't necessarily have to be like 26 days. Make it for 20. Just like to have an extra few more days for the tower challenge.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, so it was leaked, and I won't get too deep. I won't get into what the story is itself, but we posted this in our group. The levels that you need to have each character by at the end of the event. So once you start getting your character levels higher, it starts requiring a lot more of the common tokens. So getting them higher than you need isn't necessarily a good thing right now. Levels everyone needs to be at the end. Crush needs to be at 6. Nemo needs to be at 6. Squirt needs to be at 4. Dory needs to be at 3. And Marlin needs to be at 3. Just kind of think about that when you're leveling your characters. You don't want to use too many common tokens and make it hard for you to achieve those levels because you do need to get to them.
I'm gonna wait off because we have to. I'm not even upgrading a building. I'm waiting for when they drop the relics for the Seas of Finding Nemo. I'm gonna wait until Squirt comes. Because I want to make sure that there's no like token conflicts and we don't know who they are yet before I want to upgrade them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. And speaking of token conflicts, that's a great point too. When you're leveling characters, especially if you're leveling the Finding Nemo characters during this event, you really want to try to make sure that they are all collected for and ready to level at the beginning of a chapter, because there's a good chance that if you have any tokens for Crush or Nemo or Bruce that you're still collecting, there's a good chance you're going to have a conflict with Squirt.
That's very true. The one thing I was surprised about was, you have to build the Seas and you have to level up Crush to 2 to have that happen. I got his drops like right then and there. I was like, okay, put you to 2, have a nice day. Usually it takes longer to level up a person like that when you're trying to get them to 2. It's amazing how they're trying to make it easier. I think Gameloft is finally like listening, because I know that there's probably been plenty of people that have complained and said, hey, I want to be able to like level up people. I want to, not have to wait on so many tokens. So maybe they're doing something. I don't know, but that's what I'd like to think.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
So that is it. That's what we have so far. So Friday, the 16th of August at Rope Drop, we get Chapter 2. So Squirt comes into the kingdom, and that's exciting. So we'll see what happens from there. Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on into the events of the week. So we had two mini events this week during the event, and that's no big surprise. Mini events are pretty common during events. The first one was Don't Be Shellfish. This is the mini event where you tap the clams. This mini event has happened 2 times. The first time that the clams appeared was during the Watery Tail event, which was the Little Mermaid event in September of 2018. This one, Don't Be Selfish, Shellfish 2, started on the 9th of August, and then on the 11th of August. It was 2 days long. The clams are spawned in groups of 10 every 4 hours. A total of 120 clams were available during the event. The leaderboard rewards ranked 1 through 50, 1500 EC in a magical chest, 51 through 30, 1400 EC in a magical chest, and then all the way down was just a little bit less EC, but everyone got a magical chest. So, Matt, how did you do with the clam tappers?
The clam tappers, I really didn't click on that much, and I think GameLoft is kind of cracking down on like the leaderboard, because I was always stuck in like the 1,000 something range. Like the more you clicked, even if it were like a higher number to your satisfactory, it wasn't like, okay, you can click onto the leaderboard and then go back into it to see if there were like any corrections. So I think they're trying to crack down on like the people that are trying to speed up. I mean, that's just what I'm having to see, because I didn't see like my rank change throughout having to collect the tappers for the shells or collecting the happiness. So like, because there's been past events where your rank doesn't, actually hit the correct number. So I don't know. I mean, I went on like every time I tapped on them, but I didn't make it enough, I don't think, to get a radiant chest.
Well, everyone. So we're just talking about the clams here, Matt. Okay. Everyone got a magical chest. Okay. But yeah, these are just the clam tappers. So yeah, I didn't try too hard. Again, I was out and not really available. And since everyone got a magical chest, I just made sure to try to kind of do my best.
Yeah.
But I didn't. I wasn't setting alarms. Sometimes when it's like 3 magical chests, I might try a little bit harder. But this just seemed like it was kind of, let's give everyone a chest. Now the wish granter, that one was a lot harder. This was wish granter number 36. This happened on the 12th of August and ended on the 14th. It was 2 days long. And this is the one where you grant wishes, where the kids in the park, you grant their wish, you collect their happiness, and then you get a wish point. I tried the let's hold out and see strategy, and it completely backfired on me. So that really doesn't work anymore. We've been talking about that on the past couple of shows, that the let's hold off and see was not really good strategy, and I can assure you it's not anymore. Maybe they changed how the leaderboards are being done.
Yeah, that's what I mean, because they changed the leaderboard for practically everything, not just the shells. And I didn't mean to, kind of go on ahead, but it was just to say that they changed the leaderboards for the shells and they changed the leaderboard for the happiness. So that's why I was saying, GameLoft kind of caught on to that. A lot of people use gems. Obviously, you can see who's always in first place.
Yeah, but you can't gem the wish granter event. There's nothing to gem.
Well, I mean to speed up the task, if it's like for an hour. Yeah, obviously you can.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess so. That's but what I mean. I guess if you got a wish, you could gem the hour and collect it, and then another one would spawn quicker. So yeah, I guess you could technically gem it.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But that's not cheating.
No, I know, but
That's not cheating.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it just seems so odd to me that they had the leaderboards be so low. And at least for me, I've always seen like, okay, I'm higher than 1,000. I'm on it like practically every hour. It didn't really change. It was just so
Yeah. No, yeah,
odd.
I was stuck in very high numbers, and I was very surprised at how I was. I did not even finish top 500. Um, so I was probably like 1,500 to 2,000 somewhere in there. So it is what it is. It was
Yeah,
hard.
yeah,
This was definitely hard. People were fighting really hard for that one.
they were.
So all right, cool. So those are the mini events. Let's see what they have next for us. So let's talk about this for a second as we wrap up the Finding Nemo portion of this
Okay.
of the show. So we still haven't seen the gold trophy yet. So that's to be coming soon, probably during a trophy event, I would assume. So the trophy events, it's interesting because they've switched up who drops trophies and what attractions drop trophies.
Mhm.
So just a good thing. What I would do is if you see a trophy event, one, I would not wait to try to see
No,
if you got on a better leaderboard. I would
no,
go
I
right
never.
away. Yep.
I never wait, but that was part of like in the structure for how they have it set for zones. I don't have any trophies, so now that they're telling me I need a trophy, I'm gonna have to get a trophy now.
Yeah, you got to work hard, Matt. You could do it. We're gonna root for you. Let us know how you're doing. Okay.
I will. Yep.
Um, but yeah, so that we still haven't got that. We still don't have either of the two concession stands yet. They haven't been introduced.
Wait,
I'm guessing maybe one will probably be in a bundle with Hank.
which
Um,
concession stand are you talking about?
there are two concession stands. There's the two wishables that are in
Okay,
the.
I already got one, but I don't think it was from the newer one. I got a Mickey Wishable.
Yeah, that was a different event.
Okay.
There's a Nemo and a Dory wishable
Uh,
for this event, so we haven't seen them yet. So I guess the thought is but they've been doing just the level up the characters.
yeah.
Like buy the character, get the extra tokens.
Yep.
They used to bundle it with a concession stand. I hope they do that. But I don't know where else we'd get a concession stand from. They would just make it available to purchase with gems. So I guess we'll just have to see.
Yeah.
Those are things we haven't seen yet. All right. So let's move on. All right. This is the Disney Dad Joke of the Week. All right. I know everyone's excited. All right. Ready? What was the last award that Gaston won? He won the Nobel Prize.
That, that, no, that was a good one. That was a good one. That was a good one.
You have to make yourself laugh in this show. What can I say?
Yeah.
All right. Alicia likes it. All right, moving on. All right. Is it worth it? Well, I don't know, and we're not going to tell you because we are skipping it this week again. We did not do it last week, and we're not going to do it again this week. I'm going to put this segment on hold for just a little bit as we ramp up on our new segment, Safe to Store. Safe to Store is a segment where we discuss attractions that should be okay to put away. Since we always have had limited land, and we now have the thrill zones to try to achieve, which they require more concessions and decorations to be put out in our parks. So we want to talk about some concessions, or some attractions, I should say, that it's all right to put away, and not keep out in your park. It shouldn't really affect you too much.
Mm-hmm.
So last week, if you missed the show, last week we talked about. I mentioned the Hollywood Tower of Terror.
Yes, that one you mentioned, I put that one away like
Yep.
ASAP.
It doesn't do a whole lot. Then there's the Princess Dressing Room. The princess dressing room is gigantic, and you really don't need it right now. And then Allison mentioned Splash Mountain, so that is one that was recommended. This week, I'm going to go with a very safe bet, and my safe to store is Walt Disney's Carousel of Progress. So Walt Disney's Carousel of Progress is in Merlin's shop. It is 30,000 elixir. If you're lucky enough to own this event, it has an 8-hour collect time. Gives you 16 experience, 165 magic. It is an 11 by 11 attraction, so it's average size. It's nothing small, but nothing big, huge. And it drops nothing.
Yeah.
That's right. You heard me.
It drops nothing.
You don't need to turn up the sound or the volume on your computer or iPhone or Android or whatever you're using to listen to this. It drops nothing. So if you have it out, it's very safe to put it away. You're not missing out on anything, and can definitely use that land in a better way to store it. So Matt, do you have something that's safe to store?
I would assume so. I would say Steamboat Willie, because it's one of the attractions where you're not getting many tokens after the fact when you're getting the classic Mickey, Minnie, and Pete black and white. Because it's a great attraction. It has obviously great functions for Mickey, Minnie, and Pete to do something, but you're not collecting anything, so put it away. It's only useful for the fabric. It's only been useful for fabric when it came out last year, and they haven't done anything afterwards.
Yeah, totally. It's decent size. It looks awesome. I mean, God, it looks really, really cool in your park, and it stands out because it's black and white.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: when it first came out, it was so cool to put Mickey, Minnie, and Pete in their classic costumes. It was cool to see them walking around in it. It was really cool to see them all on the steamboat doing their thing. I actually just bought the Lego Disney the Lego steamboat for the 90th anniversary. So that's something you can follow me as I build it. I'll post my pictures on Twitter. That being said, I do love it, but if you have the fabric, it has no more purpose.
It really doesn't.
Because Mickey and Minnie and even Pete can be sent out to be doing other things. Now, if you just get the steamboat, just get it. You still have to enchant it to enchantment level 1 to even start getting anything from it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so if you have other things to enchant, that's better than fabric, because the fabrics don't give you any. Being in the classic costumes doesn't give you any additional bonus to other tokens.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So it's a very isolated type of attraction.
Yes.
So it's cool, and you have to get it to level 4 to even be able to get the other fabrics. So I agree, Matt. I think that's pretty safe to store if you need some space.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So let's move on. Feature report. Feature report. Feature report. Feature report is a segment where we talk about ideas or features that we would like to see implemented into the game. All right. So we just had 2 this week. So the first one, and listen, if you have a feature report, we want to hear it. So submit it to aroundthekingdompodcast@gmail.com or on Twitter, Facebook, Discord. We want to hear your ideas. You definitely have ideas. You're sitting around, you're saying to yourself, man, they should do this. Or, man, I wish this was in the game. Well, tell us. Let's talk about it. Okay, that being said, this one is from Austin. Austin said, all right, here's a feature report for you. They should let us level up Merlin to 10, but maybe a bit of a twist, and it's actually his shop that's being leveled. When you level Merlin up, the shop's level also increases, and with each level, the store will unlock more stuff to sell. For example, harder to collect tokens, fabrics, and attractions. And or maybe the prices of the things in the shop decrease. Example, how Bo Peep's fabric decreased in price. Or you could receive discounts on things. For example, the Magic Lamp Theater. If you have Merlin at level 5, maybe you could get it for 25% off. But if you get him to level 10, maybe it's 50% off or something of that nature. I love it.
Yeah.
Matt, tell me what you love about this.
Well, I love Austin's idea of like what he was saying. I believe Merlin should be leveled up. He's been sitting at 2 for I don't know how long. Probably happened within probably year 2 was when they said, okay, we want Merlin to be able to collect your potions. It didn't happen right away. He was able to help you out before the calendar event occurred. So it's time that Gameloft kind of focused more on Merlin a bit. He's been highly neglected. Highly neglected.
I agree. I really like this idea. I feel like he kind of just dropped off, and there's nothing else. I think that it's cool. I mean, everything's just available. I think that it would be a cool idea. I think there's a lot to do. I think that there's, discounted prices I like, different things. I mean, because right now, basically everything you need is available in the shop and you can just get it. So there would be like maybe exclusives, like you have to get Merlin's shop to a certain level in order to be able to unlock things, or maybe some sort of crafting. People have always talked about being able to craft things in the game by collecting things and doing stuff like that. So I don't know, there's lots of opportunity there, and I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
So thank you, Austin. I think it's good. Daniel says, how about they level up Merlin to the next level to activate night mode? Yes, Daniel, I know you love night mode. Everyone would want night mode. They need to make it happen. All right. And then Alicia. Alicia had said they need to add a confirmation request before you enchant buildings. Yes.
Yeah, they do.
They need... I'm getting closer to the camera here. They need to put a confirmation when you're going to enchant a building, so that you don't do it by accident. That's all I have to say about that. Thanks, Alicia, for helping me make my point. All right, moving on. All right, well, thank you. If you have a feature report, let's hear it. Maybe you could be on next week's show. All right, so around the community, no content from Tom Wright this week. I will get in touch with him. We'll try to get something going. If you have a request for Tom Wright, start a thread in the Disney Magic Kingdom, in the Around the Kingdom Facebook group, and say, hey, Tom, I want to see this concept. And then we'll talk, and maybe we'll vote, and we'll have Tom make one up, and we'll talk about it next week on the show. All right. Well, that about does it. If you want to stick around after the show, if you're watching live on Facebook, Matt and I will stick around for a few minutes and answer some questions from the community. But that about wraps it up for our show today. Matt, do you have any shout-outs that you'd like to give?
I want to shout out to my amazing admin team. Thank you, Mark Oliver, Michelle Penning, and Karen Felsen. You guys are a great admin team. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you.
All right. And Matt, what's the name of your group so that if people want to find you and join your group, what's the name of your group?
Disney Magic Kingdoms Hangout, one word, with Matt.
Okay. So yeah, make sure if you like Matt, even if you don't like Matt, join his group. It's Disney Magic Kingdoms Hang Out with Matt. It's a fun group, totally casual. Just a lot of fun. So, check it out and join it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, is here. So there were no new iTunes reviews this week, no new 5-star ratings. So please make sure you go ahead and do that if you get a chance. Just takes a minute. And that's it for the things around the kingdom. Next week, a geeky chick returns from her awesome trip to Florida. She just spent the week in Disney with her family. So we'll get a little bit of catch up with her. We'll find out what things she did down there. We'll find out, did she find Nemo? And what's going on with her. She will return. I'm super excited to have her back. All right. If you want to be more involved with the show, you can follow us on Twitter at ATK Podcast and like our Facebook page at facebook.com/ATK Podcast. Here you'll find out before anyone else about any breaking news that we hear, information on contests and giveaways, when new shows are published, and of course my ramblings and photos from my day-to-day playing. The show's Facebook group is up, and it's a great way to easily interact with me and the other fans of the show to talk about our favorite game. The link to our group will be in the show notes and can also be found on the show's main Facebook page. Also, you can write into the show. Our email address is aroundthekingdompodcast@gmail.com. Let us know what you think about the show, what's working, what's terrible, or any other topic you want to write in about, or even if you just want to say hi. We're now on YouTube. If you want to watch the show and see me and my awesome guests, head on over, subscribe to our channel, and like the video, and smash the bell to get notified when a new show goes live. The link to our channel will be in the show notes. And don't forget to join our Discord channel to chat with us. And Star Master, because Star Master is always there. If you want to help support the show, please head on over to iTunes, subscribe to the podcast, and leave us a 5-star review. Doing this is quick and easy. It costs you nothing, but helps us greatly to be seen by other people so they can enjoy the show also. All 5-star reviews will be read at the end of each episode. Listening to the show is all we could really ask for, but if you do want to help support us in another way, please check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/aroundthekingdom. We have a goal of getting 2 more Patreons for our show for the month of August, so you can be the person that helps us get there. This is a great way to show your support for the show for about $1 an episode. All Patreons will get a special shout out at the beginning of every episode. Again, it's patreon.com/aroundthekingdom. The link will be in the show notes. Thanks again for joining us this week. I'm Steve Squirrel. For myself and Matt, we hope you have a great night, and we will see you around the kingdom next week.
Bye, everyone.